Let's click on Metrics Hierarchy. Currently, there are no metrics listed under strategic objectives. We can start adding metrics by clicking a plus icon. Let's add a couple of metrics. The first one is actuals versus forecast. The second metric is actuals versus plan. Now when we have our metric, we need to add strategic weights. We can easily drop some metrics if required. This can be done by clicking delete icon. Once a metric is deleted, we should go and adjust strategic weights. The next step is to add metric values and thresholds. Let's click on edit icon on the metric. On the pop-up screen, we can add metric description and commentary for the current month. Since the metric measures the difference between the actual revenue and forecast, we can select percentage as units and two-tailed threshold type. Let's assume that when actuals land within 2% from forecast, the results are considered good, and any variance greater than 5% is considered bad. Assume the actual variance for the month is 1%. Once we close, we see that the metric is scored, and the result is green, since we are within 2% variance. Note that scoring is done in real time, which is very convenient. As we save the changes to the hierarchy and click on Project Settings, we can check Show Scores checkbox to find the exact score calculated for the metric. Once we go back to the hierarchy, we find that the metric score is 100, which is based on default scoring parameters. Note that the score is rolled up, based on strategic weight. The score of 100 points weighted at 60% gives us 60 strategy points, which are added to increase revenue objective. As we continue adding weights to the hierarchy, we see how the score is rolled further up, all the way to strategic priority level. When we add 50% weight to increase revenue objective, the score for finance is automatically calculated at 30 strategy points. Let's go and add values and thresholds to actuals versus plan metric. Assume it is also a two-tailed threshold, and the current month's variance is 3%. Once we save, we see that the metric score is calculated at 80 strategy points, and it has been rolled up the hierarchy. Note that the score for strategic objective increase revenue has increased, as both metrics are now contributing strategy points. With ScorecardExpert, users can build hierarchies of any complexity, add as many strategic objectives and metrics as they need, and delete individual metrics or nodes with a single click of a button. They can also adjust the position of elements in the hierarchy to make the scorecard visually appealing.